This is not financial advice. The Bitcoin Source is an educational platform, not linked to any financial institution. The content of our podcast is solely for information and should not be seen as an offer to buy, sell, or hold Bitcoin or other financial assets. Consult a financial expert before investing. While our guests share their personal views, these may not always align with those of the Bitcoin Source. Opinions expressed in the Bitcoin Source, a Bitcoin conversation, are the speaker's own and may differ from the Bitcoin Source's views. Investing always carries risks. Please conduct your own research.
And given your studies, like for example, I'm a millennial, so I am probably a few years older than you, and I was sitting in your same exact seat maybe 8 to 10 years ago on campus, and it's always interesting and beautiful to see like the younger generation kind of grabbing the bull by the horns and really kind of do this big change, which is when I was your age, like Bitcoin was really new and people weren't really
Yeah.
believing in it as much. And it's just the fact that you can be at Cornell and actually be open and able to study Bitcoin, I think is super awesome. And what I've always wanted to know, especially from someone like you, Ella, is
Yes.
more about like the social dynamics around Bitcoin changing as more and more young people get involved. How does that look for someone just within your club, like someone that's probably 14 or 15 right now that
Mhm.
they're big into gaming or they're big into NFTs. Like, do you think that Bitcoin will have an impact on them as well?
Yes, and I hope so because it needs to. So I think, unfortunately, though, on the gaming side right now, most people, maybe if you're interested in gaming or obviously NFTs, you're going to be on the crypto blockchain side. You're actually not really going to be interested in Bitcoin, and so that's why people like the Zebedee team, what they're doing. Um, there's that's why we need more people building on Bitcoin and really showing students why there is a place for them and their interests in Bitcoin. But I think that maybe just generally on the social dynamics with Bitcoin, I think they couldn't be more intertwined because just in our world today, whether we like it or not, money, and I guess Lynn Alden would say whoever controls the ledger kind of has all of the power. But again, on the energy topic, like energy is everything. And so I think so if someone my age, because Bitcoin is how they will be able to, save their energy for generations, protect their time, do what they actually want to do when they graduate college, buy a house, have a life, is really empowering, like, I guess literally and figuratively. And so in order for my generation to live and lead a society that, is productive, that is, a good, cooperative, is what we want. We need, a sound hard money like Bitcoin. And so that's why I really hope they find it, and why, Gen B, that's what we're trying to share and make it easy or easier for students our age to find Bitcoin, because they absolutely won't if they look to a university. If they look to a university and say, hey, what should I study? What's a good use of my time? They won't find Bitcoin reflected at them. So yes, I guess to sum up to your question, when they first enter, they're probably more gravitated towards blockchain, but what they really need is Bitcoin.
Yes. And on the foundational side, I think that is awesome. But like, what if it was a random person that just walked up to
Yeah.
you on the street? Like, what would be your advice for a beginner? Like, what foundational advice would you give them?
Yeah, and it's so hard and this is why like orange pilling isn't so scalable, because I think at least where we are right now, you kind of need to make the pain point to them visible. Like today, I mean, so many people have said this, we use money, have no idea how it works. Like that's when I think we've won, when people will just use Bitcoin and have no idea how it works. Um, but okay, so if I just, random person on the street, I'd probably ask them questions like, what makes you happy? Like, what do you enjoy? I feel like what are your goals is a little too deep. But just kind of try to figure out what matters to them, where do they want to spend their time and do. And I think from that, you'll get little nuggets of how to guide the conversation without, being too overbearing and try to just like push like, oh, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. Because I don't think that's the correct way to go about it. And also, I think just keep reminding, like I said earlier, you're so early. Like if you're already thinking about this and you're so early, like you're ahead of so many other people. So you don't need to feel behind. And just take the next step. Like just take a step. Listen to this podcast. Like your podcasts are great because they're shorter. So it's probably my route.